In the dark hours before dawn, when the world still sleeps and the streets lie silent, a man wakes, not from rest, but from responsibility. His bed is nothing but a worn mat, his blanket a threadbare sheet. Yet he rises like a soldier, answering an unspoken call to battle. This battle has no flags, no commanders, no applause, only hunger, debt and time. His shirt is torn at the sleeves. His sandals flap with every step. The city ignores him. The world has already labeled him invisible, replaceable. But to one small girl, he is not just seen, he is everything. She calls him Papa. To her, he is not just a man, he is her entire universe. He carries cement by day and hope by night. No medals, no rewards. Only the echo of his daughter's laugh keeps him upright. He walks 6 miles every morning, barefoot. Not because he can't afford a ride, but because even that money has a place. Her books, her shoes, her milk. Rain or sun, fever or fatigue. He walks. Sometimes blood seeps into his socks. Sometimes his legs tremble, but his purpose never shakes. When he returns in the evening, broken and tired, he sees her drawing pictures on scrap paper. One of the drawings says, "My papa is a superhero." He doesn't understand English, but he understands love. "Papa, why don't you rest?" He smiles and replies, "Because rest doesn't feed dreams." He doesn't dream for himself anymore. His dream has her name. And that's enough. 14 hours a day, he lifts stones heavier than his pain. The site is filled with noise, drills, hammers, shouting foremen. But inside him, there is only silence. A silence where pride and hunger fight a daily war. The other workers eat. Lunch, metal tiffins filled with curry, bread, and sometimes meat. He steps away during lunch breaks, pretending he's full. He opens an empty lunchbox, filled only with a dry piece of roti and cold black tea. He drinks slowly, not for taste, but to silence the growl of his stomach. When he comes home, he brings that same piece of roti and tells her, "I already ate, Beta." "You eat now." She believes him, every time, because his smile never breaks. But the truth is, some days he goes 36 hours without a real meal. His body shakes at night. He tightens a belt around his waist just to control the hunger cramps. And yet, when he sees her eat, when he watches her finish every bite, it feels like a feast. The neighbors talk behind closed doors. Why does he starve himself? But he doesn't care. Dignity is not what you wear, it's what you sacrifice for someone else. If her stomach is full, my hunger becomes strength, he once whispered to himself. He works double shifts sometimes, just for the extra 100 rupees. He cleans the site's toilets, not because it's his job, but because it's extra money for her next notebook. She once said, "Papa, I want to become a doctor." And that was the moment he stopped being hungry and started being unstoppable. She entered school with second-hand shoes and a backpack stitched at the edges, but her eyes, they were filled with light. In a world that offered her nothing, education became her rebellion. He couldn't read the school notices, couldn't understand the English written in her books, but he understood her dreams. Every evening he asked, "Did you learn something new today, Beta?" She would talk for hours, and he would listen like a man watching his own future being built one sentence at a time. Then came the school fee deadline. He had no savings, no options. Winter was approaching, and he had one coat. A thick, worn-out black coat that had shielded him through many storms. That morning, he sold it. He walked home shivering, with a crumpled fee receipt in hand. When she came running to him with joy, Holding her new class schedule, he smiled, hiding his trembling fingers. He used to fear hunger. Now he feared her missing class. That winter, he caught fever after fever. She noticed, "Papa, you're coughing again." "It's just the wind." "Beta." But the wind had already entered his lungs. He fought it. Silently, because her homework wasn't done yet. One night, the electricity went out. Again, she studied by candlelight, scribbling on half-torn pages. He sat beside her, eyes fixed on the flame, worried it would go out, like everything else in their life. He had no money to recharge the meter. So he walked 2 kilometers to a neighbor, borrowed 50 rupees, and came back in the freezing night. She never knew. He lit the bulb, quietly, and went to sleep on the cold floor. But sleep did not come. That night, he cried. Not because of pain, but because he felt like he wasn't doing enough. "Ya Allah, just give me one more day, just one more day to earn for her." His bones ached, his chest burned, but his soul? It remained firm, because she was still studying, and until she succeeded, he refused to collapse. She walked home that day, her heart racing, a letter clutched in her hands, top first in school. She had done it. She found him outside the construction site, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Papa, I passed." He looked confused. His hands froze. Then slowly he smiled, a smile he hadn't smiled in decades. He didn't say a word, just opened his arms. She ran into them. That night, they didn't eat dinner, not because they had no food, but because they had something better. Joy. She placed the letter under his pillow. "One day, I'll put a degree there, Papa." He nodded, and slept with a peace he hadn't known in years. Time, they say, is the true enemy. Years of labor, pain, and sacrifice finally caught up. He began coughing blood. His feet swelled. But he hid it. He still walked to work, still carried bricks, still smiled, until one morning, he fell. She rushed into the clinic. She was now in medical school, a few steps away from her dream. But this was her nightmare. His x-rays were terrifying. His lungs scarred, his heart weakened. "Why didn't you tell me?" She cried. "Because warriors don't complain, they win." He was admitted for weeks. She never left his side. She missed her exams. But she didn't care, because he had carried her all his life. Now it was her turn. One night, as rain tapped gently on the hospital window, he looked at her. She was asleep on a chair. He whispered, "You're everything I never had, everything I could never be." She woke up, held his hand. "Don't talk like this, Papa. I'm not afraid anymore, because you'll carry me now." Tears ran down her face. He took a deep breath. "Promise me, you'll never stop walking, even if your feet bleed." She nodded, unable to speak. That was the last time they spoke. That morning, his heartbeat slowed and then stopped. No pain, no sound, just peace. Years later, she became a doctor, opened a small clinic above the main door. A photo of him. Every patient who enters reads a quote, "Built by the hands that carried bricks, powered by a heart that never rested." She treats every patient with love, serves tea to laborers, offers free medicine to children, because that's what he would have done. Every morning, she touches his photo before work. "I'm still walking, Papa." And at night, she dreams of him, watching from a place far beyond pain, smiling because his war is over, and she is his victory.